Sixth grade, welcome to lesson 45. Happy Thursday. Here we go. I am filling in the proportions to get my answer. Letter A, 9. Letter B, 16. Letter C, 3. Letter D, 4. Letter E, 6. Letter F, 20. Letter G, 20. Letter H, 50. Letter J, 32. Letter K, 18. Letter M, 48. Letter W, 60. Letter P, 15. Letter Q, 45. Letter R, 40. Your mental math would run something like this. Times 7 is $10.50. 10 squared is 100. Now I'm sliding it right twice, 125. I saw this one with a cross multiplication. 6 times 10 is 60, divided by 4 is 15. You could have reduced 6/4 to 2/3 and then multiplied them by 5. 5 squared is 25, square root of 16 is 4. 25 times 4 is 100. Estimate, the first one is 4, the next one is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Divide by 3 is 25, times 2 is 50. Range again, biggest number minus smaller number, 623 and 123. Subtracted 500. I'm adding and subtracting, I find common denominators, that's 9 twelfths and 8 twelfths. When I add them, I get 17 twelfths equals 1 and 5 twelfths. Subtracted gives me 1 12th. Cancel the 3's and 2/4 reduces to 1/2. Stay change flipped gives me 9/8, which equals 1 and 1/8. If you remember that, we had that one on one of your power-ups a while ago. It says copy the problem and fill in the missing numbers. Some number that ends in 6 times another 2-digit number equals a number. Now guys, this problem went real quick for me because I have my perfect squares memorized. I know 16 squared is 256. So if you have your perfect squares memorized, you just put in 16 times 16 is 256. Now the only thing I have to do, guys, is I have to just fill in the blanks that we're missing so that it's all filled out for us. But if it's memorized, it's 6 times 6 is 36, carry the 3. That's 6 and 9, add it is 16, add together 6, 15, 256. Okay, your other choice, guys, was blank 6 times blank blank. Multiplied gives me blanks, blanks, and then 1, 2, 3 blanks, and we knew this was a 2 and a 6. There's a second answer to it. Those of you who want to challenge yourself and get a second answer. So I know multiplying by 6 gives me a 36. I just went times 1. 1 times 6 is 6. Okay? Now, the next thing I did is I said, I don't know what that could be. That could be anything, can it? It could be all kinds of numbers. Now, I noticed both of these guys were teens. So if I'm going to move this one down, I'm going to move this one up. So I went from 6 down to 1, so I'll move this one up to 2 and just see what happens. Okay? But I might not have known that. Now I'm down here, guys. The reason I picked a 2 here is because I'm going to put another 1 there. And I know 1 times 2 will give me this 2. So that will give me 26 here, and I add 6, good. 2 and 6, great. That's an 8. And then that's a 2, and it gives me 286. Now remember, guys, it didn't have to be the exact same answer. There was a blank here, so you could have done that. Now keeping this small, guys, the key to knowing that this had to be down in the 1s and this one only a 2 is right here. If this got any bigger, or if this got any bigger, especially here, guys, if I'd have done something there, it would have made this one too big. So that's why I knew it needed to be a 1 and a 2 to keep those small there. So you had 2 different choices, 16 squared or 26 times 11. They didn't tell you you needed both answers, so if that was a power-up on a test, you'd have had 2 choices. That would have been a little bit nicer to get it. Yesterday, guys, we were working with division problems and using our common sense to be able to say round up, round down, decimal fraction, all those things. Today, once again, we're working with division. Today we're dividing decimals by a decimal point. You've already been dividing decimals by whole numbers. Today it's one step more. We'll learn what that step is as we get to it. It says Dan has $2 and wants to buy red pens for his friends. Red pens cost 25 cents. How many can he buy? This is a problem we may be able to solve quickly by mental calculation. Dan can buy 4 pens priced at 25 cents for $1. So he could buy 8 pens for $2. But how do we get the answer 8 red pens from what seems to be a division problem? $2 divided by 25 cents. In this lesson, we consider how to get the 8. In later lessons, we will consider how to get the red pens. Notice that dividing $2 by 25 cents is dividing a decimal number, 25 cents. If we wish to divide by a whole number instead of by a decimal number, we can convert to an equivalent division problem using cents rather than dollars. So they just switch it to whole numbers. 200 cents divided by 25 cents. Changing from dollars to cents shifts the decimal point 2 places to the right. See? Fantastic. Recall that we can form equivalent division problems by multiplying or dividing the dividend and the divisor by the same number. We use this method to change division by decimal numbers to division by whole numbers. If we want to divide 1.36 by 0.4, we have 1 36 hundredths divided by 4 tenths. We can change the divisor by the whole number 4 by multiplying both of them by 10. So you multiply by 10 over 10, you get 13.6 divided by 4. The quotient of 13.6 divided by 4 is the same as 1.36 divided by 4 tenths. This means that both of these division problems have the same answer. In bold now is the point of your lesson, guys. To divide a decimal number, we move the decimal point in the divisor to the right to make it a whole number. Then we move the decimal point in the dividend the same number of places. So if you're looking at your yellow folder, guys, I wrote down slide decimal inside the same as outside to make the whole number. I just use 3 words, over, over, up. Whatever I did over on the outside, I do over on the inside, and then I move my decimal up. Your helpful hint, as we're going to learn, guys, is you might have to add some zeros. Okay, we got some division problems to do to be able to solve this problem and get the practice we need. Okay, so the first problem is 3 and 35 hundredths divided by 5 hundredths. Over 1, 2, over 1, 2 gives me 5 divided by 335. Now it's just normal division. 5 goes into 35 6 times, that's 30. Subtract 3, bring down the 5, goes in there 7 times, answer of 67. Division problem number 2. 144 thousandths divided by 8 tenths. Over once on the outside, over once on the inside. My new problem is 8 divided by 1 and 44 hundredths.
Hi, Mr. Bauer.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, do you have a packet for D'Anthony Brown?
I'm not up here.
Okay, and not down here either. We only have one for Amaya.
Is Mom here?
No, Dan?
Someone's here for it?
His uncle is here.
I will get one together in 2 seconds for him, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, ma'am. We're back to this one. We had 0.144 divided by 0.8. So over once on the outside, over once on the inside. Our new problem is 8 divided by 1 and 44 hundredths. Now it's just normal division, guys. 8 goes into 1 0 times, decimal straight up. 8 goes into 14 once, that's an 8. Subtract gives me a 6, bring down the 4. 8 goes into 64 8 times. My answer is 18 hundredths. So this one, they were both the same. Moved over twice, it was a whole number. This one moved over once, still has a decimal number. We're moving on to the next one. This time I have a whole number being divided by a decimal. I have to move it over once. This is why your yellow folder says you might need to add a 0. So once on the outside, add a 0. 5 into 210. Goes in there 4, that's 20. 10 is 2, 42. The difference, are you seeing how they're going one step? Total whole numbers, decimal numbers, add a 0. Next one, over once. My new problem is 8 into 15.4. Goes in there once, that's 8. It's a 7. Bring your decimal straight up. Bring down the 4. Goes in there 9 times. That's 72. I'm not done yet, guys. Starts at a decimal and ends as a decimal. So I add a 0, get a 2, bring the 0 down. 8 goes into 20. 2 times, 16. 4, add another 0, bring it down. 8 to 40, 5 times. One step further, I had to add 2 decimals to be able to get it. Last one, they gave it to you in word problem form. I got $7, I want to buy 35 cents erasers. Over 1, 2, over 1, 2. My new problem is 35 divided by 700. Goes in there 2, that's 70. Subtract, bring down the 0. Goes in there 0 times. My answer is how many erasers can I buy? I can buy 20 erasers. So I hope you see the nice pattern that they gave you, how they try to make it one step more difficult each time, and then they switch it to real life, how we do those things. We work with money a lot. It's going to produce decimal answers for us. All right, 6. We got a lot of work on decimals this week to be able to do those things. Let's get going on our assignment. All right, 6th grade. You could start with a little extra credit on top of your worksheet. You can tell me what went wrong in the lesson part of the video and just write that on the top of the worksheet and get some extra credit. All right, let's get rolling. We'll start with number 3. 54 and 500ths is how much greater than 50 and 40 thousandths? Use words to write your answer. So I have 54 and 500ths. That's 54 and 500ths is how much greater than 50 and 40 thousandths. Now, guys, 40 thousandths looks like this. Obviously, you don't need that 0. So we just subtract that, guys. You got 1, 0, decimal point 4. Now, it told me to use words, so I have 4 and 100th. Number 4. Use the tally chart. It says the winner of the election received how many more votes than the runner-up? So the winner was Yolanda, 5, 10, 15, 20, 22. Runner-up was next, Con, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. Subtract those, and you get 4. They won by 4 votes. What fraction of the votes did Carlos receive? Well, Carlos received 5, 10, 14 votes. I got to figure out how many there are total. So Judy had 16. Carlos had 14. That's 30. Right here, I have 22 and 18. I added those together, and that's 40. 40 plus 30 is 70. Okay, I'm going to divide by 7 here, and that gives me a 2 and a 10, and divide by 2. Carlos received 1/5 of the votes. Number 6, name the properties. I start with 4 in parentheses of 1/4 plus 3/10, guys, and then the next one, it's broken apart. You had 3 numbers, now you have 4 numbers. You distributed this one through. So A is the distributed property. Then you took 4 times 1/4 equals 1. When it equals 1, that's the inverse property. So you have the inverse property. Then they work on and they do the math. Number 8, the perimeter of the rectangle is 56, the length of the rectangle. Step 1, perimeter. Divide by 2. Gives you a 28. Subtract the width. 18 would be my answer. Sorry, 28 minus 10 gives me 18. The length would be 18 centimeters. What's the area? Now you take 18, the length, times 10, the width, and 18 times 10 is 180 centimeters squared. Number 9, write this as a mixed number. Okay, so I have 62 and 5/10. 5/10 reduces to 1/2. As a decimal number is 900ths, so I can write it the way I say it. I'm sitting pretty. And as a decimal, they gave me 7.5% left twice, 0.075. Number 13, divide by 9 and write your quotient. So I have 5.1 divided by 9, 0 goes in there 5 times, that's 45. Subtract 6, 0, 60 goes in there 6 times is 54. Subtract is 60 is going to go in there 6 times, and it's going to keep going. So they said A, rounded to the nearest thousandths, guys, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. I start here, I look at the next 6. That's going to make it go up to 0.567. B, write it with a repentant, 0.56 with a line over the 6. So A, B. Number 15, draw XM, 2 centimeters long, XY, I said M, I don't know why, 2 centimeters. Then draw YZ perpendicular to it, YZ, this is 1.5, and that's a Z up here. Then complete it and measure it. You better get, when you measure, a 2.5. Guys, this is 3 squared, this is 4 over 2, this is 5 over 2. A 3, 4, 5 right triangle like you had earlier this week. Thank you, Mr. Pythagoras. So 2.5 centimeters is your answer for number 15. Number 16, find the perimeter and the area of the triangle you drew. Okay, so perimeter, I'm going to add 2.5 plus 1.5, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. The perimeter is 6 centimeters. I'm going to multiply 2 times 1.5 divided by 2. I'm going to divide by 2 from the start. 2 divided by 2 is 1, times 1.5 stays 1.5. This one would be obviously centimeters squared. Number 17, solve. I have 3 over something, it's a W, equals 25 over 100. Okay, guys, I'm going to reduce that to 1/4. 1 times 3 gives me 3. 4 times 3 gives me 12. Number 21, I'm multiplying 15 times 15. Hopefully it's memorized as 225. But it's not 15s, it's decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Decimal point. 0 for looks. 23. I'm dividing 14 and 1400ths divided by 5. Goes in there 2, the 10, 4, decimal point, 1, 8, 40, 1, 14, 2, 10, 4, add a 0, 8. So I got 2.828 for an answer. 24, dividing again. This time I have 0.096 divided by 1200ths. 1, 2, 1, 2. I like to rewrite it. 12 into 9.6. Goes in there 0 times, goes in there 8 times. That's 96, and my answer is 8/10. 26. Step 1, parentheses, 2 and 1/3 minus 1 and 1/4. Got to get them equal to 12. That's times 4 over 4 gives me 4/12. This is times 3 over 3 gives me 3/12. Subtract is 1/12. Subtract the whole numbers, 1 and 1/12. Now I turn around and I have to take that and subtract it from 4 and 1/2, which equals 4 and 6/12 minus 1 and 1/12. And so now I have 5/12 with the fractions and 3 with the whole number, 3 and 5/12. 28. Make them improper. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 3 is 33 over 5. 10 times 1 is 10 plus 1 is 11 over 10. Stays, changes, flips. 2 times 3 is 6. And 29. How many 21-cent pencils can be purchased for $7? So 21 cents into $7. Okay, so I slid 1, 2, I slide 1, 2. So I have 21 into 700. It's going to go in there 3 times. That gives me 63. Subtract 7. It's going to go in there 3 times. That gives me 63. Subtract, give me 7. And guys, we're going to have 3s going on for forever. So I would have a decimal point here and a 3 repeating. Now the question is, how many pencils can I buy? Guys, this is a case where I round down. I don't have the money. I can't buy 1/3. So my answer is the whole number. I can buy 33 pencils. Will I have money left over? Yeah, I'll have 7 cents left over, guys.